Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura. Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajagacharya Ashtotara Satasi Shrimad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki, Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Srila Prabhupada Anuga Ki, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Nittai Gaura Premanande. All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishti. Satyasya satyam rita satyanetram Satyatmakam tvam sharanam prapannaha Satyavratam satyaparam trisatyam Ladies, anybody want to chant? Satyanetram, Satyavratam. Satyavratam, the personality of Godhead who never deviates. The personality of Godhead who never deviates from his vow. Satyaparam, who is the absolute truth, as stated in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Satyam Param Dhimahi. Trisatyam. He is always present as the absolute truth. Before the creation of this cosmic manifestation, during its maintenance, and even after its annihilation. Satyasya, of all relative truths, which are emanations from the absolute truth. Krishna, Yonim, the cause, Nihitam, entered, Cha, and Satya, in the factors that create this material world. Namely, the five elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Satyasya, of all that is accepted as the truth. Satyam, the Lord is the original truth. Rita Satyanetram, He is the origin of whatever truth is pleasing. Sunetram, Satya Atmakam, everything pertaining to the Lord is truth. Satchitananda, His body is truth, His knowledge is truth, and His pleasure is truth. Tvam, unto you, O Lord, Sharanam, offering our full surrender. Prapannaha, we are completely under your protection. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. The demigods prayed, O Lord, you never deviate from your vow, which is always perfect, because whatever you decide is perfectly correct and cannot be stopped by anyone. Being present in the three phases of cosmic manifestation, creation, maintenance, and annihilation, you are the supreme truth. Indeed, unless one is completely truthful, one cannot achieve your favor. which therefore cannot be achieved by hypocrites. You are the active principle, the real truth in all the ingredients of creation, and therefore you are known as Antaryami, the inner force. You are equal to everyone, and your instructions apply for everyone, for all time. You are the beginning of all truth. Therefore, offering our obeisances, we surrender unto you. Kindly give us protection. Purport: the demigods or devotees know perfectly well that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the true substance, whether within this material world or in the spiritual world. Srimad Bhagavatam begins therefore with the words Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Satyam Param Dhimahi. Vasudeva, Krishna, is the Param Satyam, the Supreme Truth. The Supreme Truth can be approached or understood by the Supreme Method as declared by the Supreme Truth, Bhaktyamam Abhijanati Yavan Yaschasmi Tattvataha in 1855, Bhagavad Gita. Bhakti, devotional service, is the only way to understand the absolute truth. For protection, therefore, the demigods surrender to the Supreme Truth, not to the relative truth. There are persons who worship various demigods, but the Supreme Truth, Krishna, declares in Bhagavad Gita, Antavattu phalam tesham tad bhavati alpamedasam. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Worship of demigods may be useful for a limited time, but the result is antavat, perishable. This material world is impermanent. The demigods are impermanent, and the benedictions received from the demigods are also impermanent. Whereas the living entity is eternal, nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam. Every living entity therefore must search for eternal happiness, not temporary happiness. The words Satyam Param Dhimahi indicate that one should search for the absolute truth, not the relative truth. While offering prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narasimhadeva, Prahlada Maharaj said, Balasya neha sharanam pitaro narasimha nartasya chagadam udanvati majjato nauhu. Generally, it is understood that the protectors for a child are his parents, but this is not actually the fact. The real protector is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Taptasya tat pratividhir ya ihanja sheshtas tavad vibho tanubridham tvat upekshitanam. If neglected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a child, despite the presence of his parents, will suffer, and a diseased person, despite all medical health, will die. In this material world, where there is a struggle for existence, men have invented many means for protection, but these are useless if the Supreme Personality of Godhead rejects them. Therefore, the demigods purposefully say, Satyatmakam Tvam Sharanam Prapannaha. Real protection can be obtained from you, O Lord, and therefore we surrender unto you. The Lord demands that one surrender unto Him, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamikam Sharanam Braja. And he further says, Sakrit eva prapanno yas tava asmiti cha yachate. Apayam sarvada tasmai dadami etam vratam mama. If one surrenders unto me sincerely, saying, My Lord, from this day I am fully surrendered unto you, I always give him protection. That is my vow. Ramayana Yuddha Kanda. The demigods offered their prayers to the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he had now appeared in the womb of his devotee Devaki, to protect all the devotees harassed by Kamsa and his lieutenants. Thus the Lord acts as Satyavrata. The protection given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be compared to the protection given by the demigods. It is said that Ravana was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, but when Lord Ramachandra wanted to kill him, Lord Shiva could not give him protection. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, accompanied by great sages like Narada and followed by many other demigods, had now invisibly appeared in the house of Kamsa. They began to pray for the Supreme Personality of Godhead and select prayers which are very pleasing to the devotees and which claim that the Lord is true to his vow. And which award fulfillment and devotional desires. The first words they spoke acclaimed that the Lord is true to his vow. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna descends upon this material world just to protect the pious and destroy the impious. That is his vow. The demigods could understand that the Lord had taken his residence within the womb of Devaki to fulfill this vow. They were very glad that the Lord was appearing to fulfill his mission, and they addressed him as Satyam Param, or the Supreme Absolute Truth. Everyone is searching after the truth. That is a philosophical way of life. The demigods give information that the Supreme Absolute Truth is Krishna. Karyam karanam cha vidyate natat shamaschaabhyadhikascha drishyate parasya shaktir vividhaiva shuyate swabhaviki jnana balakriya cha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead does not need to do anything personally, for he has such potencies that anything he wants done will be done perfectly well through the control of material nature. Swabhaviki jnana balakriya cha. Similarly, those who are engaged in the service of the Lord are not meant to struggle for existence. The devotees who are fully engaged in spreading the Krishna consciousness movement, more than 10,000 men and women all over the world, have no steady or permanent occupation. Yet we actually see that they are maintained very opulently. Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate Tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam. For those who worship me with devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, I carry to them what they lack and preserve what they have. The devotees have no anxiety over what will happen next, where they will stay, or what they will eat. For everything is maintained and supplied by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has promised Kaunteya Pratijanahi Name Bhakta Pranashati. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. From all angles of vision, therefore, in all circumstances, if one fully surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no question of one struggling for existence. In this connection, the commentary by Sripada Madhvacharya, who quotes from the Tantra Bhagavata, is very meaningful. Satchabdha uttamam bhruyat anandantiti vaivadet yati jnanam samuttishtam purnananda drishistatah atritvac cha tada danat satya attaya chochyate vibhuhu. Explaining the words Satyasya Yonim, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that Krishna is the avatari, the origin of all incarnations. All incarnations are the absolute truth, yet the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the origin of all incarnations. Deeparchirevahi dashantaram abhyupeta deepayate. There may be many lamps, all equal in power, yet there is a first lamp, a second lamp, a third lamp, and so on. Similarly, there are many incarnations who are compared to lambs. But the first lamb, the original personality of Godhead, is Krishna. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The demigods must offer worship in obedience to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But one might argue that since the Supreme Godhead was within the womb of Devaki, he was also coming in a material body. Why then should he be worshipped? Why should one make a distinction between one ordinary living entity and Supreme Personality of Godhead? These questions are answered in the following verses. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We have gone back in a chapter to read from prayers of the demigods. Krishna is called here a very beautiful verse, which is Satya. Play on the word Satya. Satya Vratam Satya Param Trisatyam Satyasya Yonim Nihitam Cha Satye Satyasya Satyam Vratasatya Netram Satyatmakam Tvam Sharanam Prapannaha. Shukadeva Goswami is beautifully composing these words, repeating the prayers of the demigods. If you remember rightly, the Devatas, they all, headed by Bhumi Devi, went along with Brahma and prayed to the Supreme Personality of Godhead on the Milk Ocean, the shore of the Milk Ocean. Milk Ocean, we have so much of doubt, and our whole life is filled with ordinary, simple things, and we don't even understand many of these things properly. Can you reduce the volume, please? We don't understand many of these things properly, but when we speak about things like Milk Ocean and all that, that is it, we give it up. It's impossible for us to think of a milk ocean. Saltwater ocean itself is actually very difficult, but because it exists before our eyes, we can understand it as salt water. So we believe in saltwater ocean. And we don't know the reason why it is salty. And then somebody will do all sorts of research and say, this is why it is salty. Oh, thank you very much. You gave me some reasons for understanding why it is salty. But when I say milk ocean is there, I'll say, I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. So, this is the right opposite. The demigods are saying, everything about you is 100% true. Everything about you is true. You are true before, true after, true during, and you are true in the beginning, you are true in the end, you are the source of all relative truths, you are truth, everything, you are the only truth. And all of that they say is 100% correct. Because that is the meaning of God. Really speaking. When we speak about God in Bhagavatam, it is not only God. It means absolute truth. Samam bonam. Prabhupada explains it in the beginning of the Bhagavatam. And here the demigods are claiming that. They are saying, because they don't even see him, by the way, they have all come inside Kamsa's palace. The scene, you must understand, everything is very fantastic. It is either very amazingly, wonderfully fantastic, or it is completely not worth your attention. There are two things only that can happen. Because it is so amazingly different from normal things. Either you have to dismiss it or you have to completely believe in it. So here the demigods are saying everything about you is 100% correct. In fact, you are the only truth. You are the only truth. And they don't see Krishna. They just see Devaki. She is tired and she is lying down, and her, in her womb is Krishna. They have got information that Krishna has already appeared in Devaki's womb. Right? So they are all coming and Devaki is sleeping. There is a very beautiful picture of this. Devaki is not very conscious of all the demigods. She is just very happily resting. She is having close association with the Supreme Lord in her womb. You can imagine how it would be. And she is in bliss. And all these demigods have understood that the Supreme Absolute Truth has situated himself in Devaki's womb. Because you can ask the question, how can that be contained by Devaki's womb? How can the Lord, if he wants to, he can do anything. So he has put himself in the womb of Devaki. Right? And Devaki's womb has gone through so much of purification. There's a big history that we learned. 6 sons were killed, then Balaram came, and then he was transferred, and then it was made ready for Krishna to appear. And now Krishna has appeared. She is very happily having association of Krishna in the womb. So, in the demigods are appeared there. Why they call him Satyavrata is explained here. They went on the shore of the milk ocean and they addressed the Lord. Om Sahasra Sirsha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumin Vishvato Vritva Atyatishtat Tashangulam. They are all praying to the Lord. Purusha Yeve Takam Sarvam Yad Bhutam Yad Chapavyam. They are addressing the Lord and they are praying. All of them, because they are in great distress. Because there are kings like Kamsa ruling and burdening the world. So the Lord is explaining, telling them that I will come. I have heard you are very distressed because of kings like Kamsa and everybody. So I will come. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. So he appeared. So they are saying, you keep your word. Satyavrata. You will always, whatever you say, you will do. Whatever you say, you will do. There is no question of you not keeping up your word. Kaunteya pratijanahi name bhakta pranashyati. My devotee will never perish. He will never be a failure. You go and declare it to anybody you want. And all devotees, whatever they may face, they know this is true. Whatever difficulties they may face in the material world, they will never give up their devotion to Krishna. They may have a thick and thin, sweet and sour relationship in terms of their understanding, but they'll never give up their bhakti, their devotional service to Krishna, because they know that Krishna means what he says. The rest is all small details. That's not supposed to be taken into consideration. The fact is, Krishna protects his devotees, and you must have faith in that. That is what the demigods are saying. You are Satyavrata, you always keep up your word. If you say you will do this, you keep up your word. We have seen it. Draupadi was getting disrobed, and nobody was able to help her. Not her husbands also. But you came and protected and saved her. Parikshit, he was in the womb of Uttara and he was being attacked. And Uttara came to you and said, please save my child. I don't mind that I die, but my child should be saved. That's the opposite nowadays. The argument going on now is, why can't I kill the child for me to live? This, you see how the change in civilization has occurred. I mean, we can call that civilization. This is not civilization. To say that, the argument nowadays is that the mother should be protected. Child can be killed. mother is more important than the child. The perspectives are completely changed. But there, she came and said that, I don't mind passing away, but Parikshit should be saved. My son should be saved. And Krishna wonderfully saved Parikshit in the womb. In this way, you will see so many stories, and sometimes people will think, "Itella periya devotees ku mattumdanda. Enakku the Lord will not protect me. I am a very small fellow." No. Even for the smallest of small people, it is just that they don't understand how the Lord is protecting you. They don't have the capacity to understand how you are being protected. Just like the child doesn't know how the mother is protecting me, how the mother is serving me, how the mother is looking after me, he is completely oblivious of it. And he may even accuse the mother of not looking after me properly. Little does he know what all the mother is doing. The mother doesn't take it seriously at all. What do you know? You don't know anything. Just shut up. And she continues to serve him, continues to look after him. So it doesn't matter whether the child knows or does not know, the Lord's overpowering protection is far, far greater than the illusion of the child, than the illusion of the conditioned soul. It doesn't matter what you say. Krishna is the only protector. Even if you get angry and you kick him and you say, "I'll not believe him," still he protects you. Still he is protecting you. Because his love for you is far greater than your stupidity. So he cannot subject his love to your stupidity. This is the meaning of Satyavrata. I will protect you whatever you may think or otherwise, because your capacity is very low. I don't take it very seriously. Overwhelming protection. And you may not even understand how I am protecting you. If you actually get the details of how I have been protected from time to time, you will be very surprised. It's just that we don't have the knowledge and the detail every time. We don't go into the details. Like Sudama, this is a classic example of how he knows Krishna will look after. And even if he does not look after also, that is the way to look after me. He's telling that on his way back from the home, he's saying the Lord never gave me anything. First of all, he never asked anything. He's supposed to ask, he did not ask. Because he was overwhelmed with the Lord's love and seeing him and the experience of bhakti. He did not bother to ask at all. But then he is commenting on his way back, you see, he did not give me anything material. Because he is protecting my devotion to him. This is the right thing. He is very happy about whatever has happened. What has happened is he has got nothing. He is going back home. And he managed to give that 3 handfuls of flat rice to Krishna. And all that also not because of his effort, because of Krishna's effort he took it. So he is going back thinking that my Lord is so nice. He doesn't want to spoil me. He has not given me anything material, which is also not true. Because on the other side, his wife is already enjoying a big palace. She is waiting for the husband to come back. But he is thinking, the Lord has not given me anything. And that is right. Why? I'll get spoiled. If you give anything material, my devotion will get spoiled. My wife does not know. She doesn't have so much this thing. But what to do? She's a woman and she feels for her family, and so she asked. I came all the way. But it doesn't matter, I did not ask anything. I'm happy I saw Krishna. He's going back. And the reason for this is, he has 100% full faith that Krishna will look after me. And if at all I am in poverty, that is also Krishna's plan. This is dependence on Krishna. One extreme is how Sudama's attitude is. And the other extreme is anybody who has got no faith and is being introduced to Krishna and they've got all sorts of material anxieties. Will all these things get them become all right if I invest my time and energy in Krishna? Is their first question. My material situation, will it become all right if I invest in Krishna? And mostly we all tell them yes. Yes, yes. And Krishna does reciprocate like that also. He does reciprocate like that. For those who faith is very less, Krishna gives reciprocation obviously, openly in the material realm. As advance a little bit in your understanding of Krishna consciousness, Krishna's protection is not to be seen in terms of what you get materially in the material realm. Krishna's protection is seen in a completely different way by devotees. Krishna is, is the source of everything and is the complete object of your surrender. So the devotee is completely surrendered to Krishna. Devotee is completely surrendered to Krishna. And they surrender to Krishna so much that they are not even looking after themselves. They are not even looking after their own material requirements like Sudama. And the Lord, He actually wants to enjoy the relationship with the devotee. So sometimes He subjects the devotee to very different type of material situations. And He is even enjoying the reciprocation in that situation. But the devotee is patiently going through whatever you want me to go through, I am going through. It was your desire. I am completely surrendered. Yesterday I was reading the letter of Prabhupada, diary of Prabhupada, where he has written in the ship, saying that they have given me title Bhakti Vedanta. I have no bhakti, I have no knowledge also. So I am completely depending on you. I have great faith in the holy name. You can use me how you want, because I don't know why you have brought me here. I am already 70 years old, all 2 heart attacks over. You must be having some plan, otherwise why you are calling me here? I am a useless person. I have no bhakti, I have no knowledge, I have no strength, I am 70 years old, and I don't know what you will achieve from me. But whatever it is, you must be having a plan. Because otherwise, why am I traveling here in this place? I don't know how I have come here. It's all your desire. That completely surrendered to the situation. And Krishna is working through him. See, why did Krishna choose a 70-year-old man after 2 heart attacks and a journey in the ship to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world? Well, that is what he wants. Who are you to think this way or that way? If Krishna wants, he can make anybody an instrument. A devotee believes in that fully. It's like Prabhupada fully believed in that. And because he fully believes in that, the Lord also is very happy to have a relationship with the devotee and enjoy that relationship. So these are all different levels of faith that you will hold your word. It comes to the point of me suffering like nothing materially, but for sure you have a plan and you are right. You can never be wrong. Even if I suffer like nothing, even if I die, even if I am tortured, you can never be wrong, you are correct. This is the Satya Vrata devotee. Satya Vrata God is like, Krishna is like that. The Satya Vrata devotee is, whatever you may do to me, my love for you will never change. Because of that type of a relationship, Krishna, this is the real Satya Vrata at its height. Krishna actually revels in that, and he wants to tell the whole world, see, this is how my devotee is. So the demigods are not of that extreme type. They are not like pure devotees like but they know that as far as we are concerned, we call you whenever there is emergency, you come. That level of Satyavrata they know. You will definitely come. Amma definitely varuvanga kupta. That type of thing. Why? Because it's my mother, and I can fully rely on her. If I call, she will come and attend to me. That is demigod's level of faith. But that pure devotee's level of faith is another side. Even if you don't come, you are Satyavrata. That's the way to understand. And the Lord also knows that Kaunteya pratijana hina me bhakta pranashyati means he will never perish, I will look after him. Even if the world thinks he has perished, even if the world thinks this and that, as far as I am concerned, nothing will go wrong with him. Nothing will go wrong. You'll see all these stories in the Bhagavad. At different levels, Prahlad Maharaj is praying, and Narasimhadev is asking him, what boon do you want? I'm so pleased with you. And then Prahlad Maharaj is actually answering and saying, why are you tempting me? I want nothing from you. Your blessing, your mercy is all that I am enjoying. So I don't have any desire for anything. But don't tempt me like this by what you want from me. I am not doing devotional service as a business that I do this for you, you give me this. Then what is the use of my service to you? You are worthy of being served. You are my master and I serve you. What you may return to me or don't return to me and all is nothing of my concern. Whatever your order is, I want to do. Out of love for you, I am doing it. And so don't tempt me and make me a businessman. I gave you this, you gave you this. My love is not so cheap. I don't need it. But all I ask you is, these idiots, Maya Sukhaya Bharam Udvahato Vimudhan, these Vimudhas who think that they can get happiness by staying in this world and munching and Punas Charvita Charvananam, keeping on chewing the chewed, they will get some happiness. These idiots, for them, I want to do something that you empower me. That I am asking. I am asking to do something for your pleasure. Maya Sukhaya Bharam. Bharam, they are taking this burden of this so-called happiness, which is not at all happiness. So that is the nature of devotees. The Lord, although the devotees may not have that experience of them immediately getting some material benefit, they still have full faith in Krishna. Even if he does something wrong to me, it is perfectly alright. This is Radharani's statement quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita, that Krishna makes me miserable by not being present before me and by having other type of relationship with the other girls in Vrindavan, and he gives me a lot of pain. But if by giving me pain and misery he is happy, then I am willing to suffer that misery happily because it is making Krishna happy. That is the thinking of Radharani. If by me being miserable Krishna is being happy, then let me be miserable because Krishna is happy. Because Krishna is happy. This is the other side of Satyavrata. Nobody is calling him Satyavrata there in Vrindavan. They call him opposite. The Gopika Geetam, you will see the gopis are telling opposite to what the demigods are saying. Oh, you uphold your vow, you always come and protect your devotees. The demigod statement is one thing. But the gopis are saying, I can never have faith in you. You are a, debauchee. You have so many affairs with so many ladies. We can never have faith in you, but still, how can we forget you? We are not able to remove you from our consciousness. We are suffering because of constantly being absorbed in you. And although you are like this, we can't stop remembering you. So this is the other side of Satyavrata. It becomes 180 degrees the other side, spiritual aspect of it. Krishna is not reliable for the gopis, but because of him being not reliable, it is giving extra pleasure to the gopis in love of Krishna. So these statements made by the demigods, they are actually made with full understanding, with good understanding, and they can be understood in various levels in the Bhagavatam only, by all the different pastimes of the Lord. Everything about the Lord is 100% correct, 100% truthful. This is what is Bhagavat Dharma. That he danced in the middle of the night with married women, with gopis, is 100% correct. It's very difficult for people to understand this. That's what is being said in the Bhagavatam. Whatever you do is absolute truth. So there cannot be any morality put on top of the absolute truth. There is no place for morality, ethical stuff. All is for people in this world who are absorbed in Dvandva Moha, in duality. For them only right and wrong is there. Because you deserve to be under the imprisonment of morality. Morality is an imprisonment. It is meant for people, it's a punishment for people who don't recognize the absolute truth. If you want to live in the relativized world and make relative truths the main truths for you, then here, take this. Figure out what is right and wrong. All the time the discussion is about what is right and wrong. This is wrong, you shouldn't have done. But for me it is okay. How can you say that? All the discussions are about what is right and what is wrong. It's very bewildering. It's so bewildering, even Bhishma is telling Draupadi, my dear Draupadi, my dear daughter, I'm actually very confused what is dharma and what is adharma. Now that you're getting disrobed, I am actually don't know what is right, what is wrong. Even Bhishma is saying this. World is enveloped in duality. They will never figure it out. It's a curse. In one sense, morality and ethical life is actually an imprisonment. But transcendence beyond duality, beyond morals, and beyond ethical things of this world, that is what we are all meant for. As soon as you situate yourself like that, then it doesn't matter to me. Whether it is black or it is white, doesn't matter to me. If it is good or bad, doesn't matter to me. If I'm suffering or I'm very happy materially, doesn't matter to me. Why? I have transcended all these things. That is why for Parikshit Maharaj he said, like, oh, let me die. Whatever that snake is, let him bite me. I have nothing to do with it. Why? I am already fixed myself in Krishna. Already fixed myself in Krishna. That is the meaning of Satya. Truth means absolute truth. Truth means no relativity of any type. That is the type of truth we should understand. Satyam param dhimahi. Bhagavatam first shloka. Janmadhyasetaha anvayad itaratas chartheshva vignyaswarat tene brahma hridayadi kavaye muhyanti yat suraya tejo vari mridam yata vinimayo atra trisargo amrisha dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. Very beautiful shloka. Satyam param dhimahi. Absolute truth. The only truth. Origin of everything else in this world. This is how God is presented in the Bhagavatam. God is not simply somebody who is in charge of everything and who can give you trouble because he is very powerful. This is the type of thing that people look from the material world. You better break a coconut and go around and do this thing because something bad will happen to you. Out of fear they worship. You're not like that. God is not somebody to be feared. You are afraid because you are doing wrong. Fear is always in the heart of those people who are doing wrong. You know you're doing wrong, so you're afraid. What is the wrong you're doing? You're forgetting the absolute truth and being lost in relativity. And that will constantly create fear in you. Payam dvitiya biniveshata sayat ishad apetasya viparyayo smritihi. All these crazy things will happen to you. You will get afraid, you will get lost, you will get invested in the body, you will think the wrong, everything will happen to you. Why? Because you're not connected with the absolute truth. This is philosophy. This is theology. If you're not connected with Krishna, you will be always afraid, always, in great problem. Sada samudvigna manaha asad grihat. This is Prahlad Maharaja's instruction to his father. Always you are disturbed like this. Why don't you stop it? Don't you understand? It's so easy. Why don't you fix yourself in Vishnu? Everything will stop for you. What did you say? He's not able to understand. He's never able to understand. So many of us also, we also don't understand. We may be nice people, very peaceful, good karma, nicely doing your duties, nicely stuck up in the relative world, and we sometimes indulge a little bit on a Sunday in the absolute truth. I think saying may be correct. I think so, but safely only we will go inside that. My insurance, my life insurance, my other thing, my properties, my son, daughter, married, everything. Now I'll step a little bit into Krishna consciousness. I'll just test it out, how it is. Oh, no, it is. This is how we practice Krishna consciousness. We are so careful about investing in the absolute truth. It's because that is all you should do. You don't need to do anything else. But if you look at it from the way the Bhagavatam is telling us, do it. And Krishna is telling, do it, surrender to me. Mame kam sharanam praja. Only me you need to surrender. Don't have to worry about anybody else, anything else. Everything else is relativized. But still I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I invest in it. We are very addicted to the relative world. We are very addicted to the relative truth. That is why the demigods are like in both sides. They are very interested in material life. They have to dance with Ramba, Kilotama, Menaka. They have to take Somarasa. They have to have control. They have to have position. And they get very disturbed. They are coming because their position is, disturbed. They are coming for a material reason actually. And Krishna is saying, don't worry, I'll come. And they are saying, you are always like this, you come to protect us. Satyavrata you are. Yes, I am Satyavrata, but why don't you invest in me? Why don't you make me? Yes, we know that you are the absolute truth, we know everything, but little bit Ramba, Kilotama, Menaka is waiting, I'll come back. Somarasa, little bit, I'll come back to you. They are also like that. They are also like that. But Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is not like that. You can see his prayer. Sudama is not like that. Prahalad is not like that. He is fully crossed over to the other side. Whatever you may do, for me it doesn't matter. You are the supreme absolute truth. I am under your shelter and there is no other better shelter for me. Sanata Jivitam. Yeah. I only desire that I accept you as my master forever and I continue to serve you. I don't want anything else. I'm not interested in anything else. So, there are many more things in the shloka which is very long. I'm just speaking about Satyavrata. Om Tat Sat Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Nittai Guru Premanande. Anyway, I'm joking. No, you should not, period. Just like your question, I'm also answering. No, because you did not give an explanation specifically. You're asking a general question, I'm giving a general answer. No, devotees should not cheat. That's the answer. Sadhakas, they should not prematurely presume that they are transcendental. You are a sadhaka, you have not realized the truth, you are gathering knowledge. The knowledge doesn't immediately manifest the truth for you. Knowledge has to be worked on. That is the meaning of a sadhaka. Simply knowledge alone does not give you the right to immediately act as though you are transcendental to it. So you have transcendental knowledge, then you perform your sadhana with the transcendental knowledge and gradually purify yourself and then come to the point of full surrender to the Lord. That's what the whole nectar of devotion is speaking about. So don't prematurely think you are already transcended. Why? The reality is you have not. Since you have not, you should follow the rules. Krishna is telling this to Uddhava in the 11th canto. Until and unless you have developed love for me completely, you should not abandon Varnashrama rules and regulations. And then he says that once you have developed that knowledge also, you can transcend. You go even beyond that knowledge that you have got. So there is a science to these things. It's not that prematurely you think that every time you read something about Prahlad, you don't have to put yourself in the shoes of Prahlad and start acting. You are not Prahlad. You don't have that. You tend to do that. In this material world, imitation is a very natural thing. In the relative world, everybody is instantly thinking and walking around like that. That something happens inside. When you hear a great story about somebody, you immediately want to imitate him and put yourself in his shoes. Some people even go and change their hairstyles like that person. I'm a fan of this, their looks, everything, and start walking, thinking, feeling, willing like that person. That's what you see in the material world. The tendency to want to put yourself in the absolute platform, well, that is a good tendency, but don't be very prematurely enthusiastic about it. You have to work yourself towards it. Just like you enter a medical college, you will say, I'll be a doctor. You'll be a doctor in due course of time. Now don't go around with your scissors and say, can I cut your stomach? I want to see your intestine. People will run away from you. This is a half-baked quack. He wants to conduct a surgery. I won't believe you. So why you don't believe me? I am in the medical college. I am studying medicine. Doesn't mean that I could surrender myself to you. You're not yet a doctor. You're a sadhaka. That's the thing. It's all to do with a material desire. So perform your sadhana and offer your prayers to the Lord. This morning I was reading a prayer quoted from Nectar of Devotion. It is somewhere in the Bhagavatam, I think. That I have no taste for chanting the holy name. I have actually no interest in achieving you. I have no love for you. I have tried and it is not working properly for me also. Right? But I have no other person to go to, because I know you are the Supreme Absolute Truth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Oh Mukunda Madhava, somehow the other, can you place me in pure love? I am not at all qualified, but I have got this pain in my heart that I am so useless. Neither did I do that properly, nor am I doing this properly. And I have foolishly done this, I have foolishly done that. I hope you will, by your mercy alone, I can survive. It's a prayer. What can I do? That's what we are. Sadhaka has to offer his prayer in reality. He offer the real prayer. Not that, Bhagavane, I am already chanting 16 rounds and I am a pure devotee and why this is happening to me? It's not prayer. It's not prayer. So don't assume that you are a devotee. Don't assume that you are qualified to get the mercy and why it is not happening. Those are all material thoughts. They are not very spiritual. So these questions are also like that only. Why I'm the transcendentally morality and this all. Just be where you are and offer your sincere prayers to Krishna. Continue to chant Hare Krishna. And what happens? What does it matter if you don't get some great position as a pure devotee position? Look at me. On my forehead it is written, I'm a pure devotee. See, recognize me. Who cares? Who cares about all that? It's a relationship with Krishna that you are after. It is Krishna's love which is available to you, and you should mature in your love of Krishna. You should be bothered about the real stuff. Everything else will follow. So am I developing love for Krishna? That should be your greatest feeling. This prayer says that only. I did so many things, nothing is happening. It's not happening. Like that, you feelingly offer your prayer to Krishna. And Krishna says that I am always there for you. Have faith in that. Om Tat Sat.